Hey everyone, today I want to share with you about how you can save in the car buying process. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. After 14 years of not buying a car, I was in a place where I needed to buy a car and I had no idea what to look for when it came to making sure that I bought the right car at the right price. My name is Lisa Freeman. I'm a money manifestation and mindset coach who helps people who feel broke to exit the cycle and instead feel financially free to say, I could pay for that. And if you haven't already, join my email list at wealth.lisafreeman.com. That's wealth.lisafrumin.com. I share tips and tricks every single week there to help you grow your business, save in places that you want to save, as well as cut your debt. And if you want all the latest tips and tricks, join me there at wealth.lisafreeman.com. And today, I want to invite you to get to know my car guy, my car buying agent. His name is David Rojas. Wave, David.
Hi.
So when I first moved to Florida, I needed to buy a car for the first time. I had no idea what to do. And my friend introduced me to David. So today I'm introducing all of you to David, and I'm going to be interviewing David with a couple of questions about the car buying process to help you figure out your car buying process so that you can save the most possible. So David, would you mind telling a little bit about yourself, how you got into the industry that you're in today?
Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you for the opportunity, by the way. I'd love to help people out with just general knowledge. Most people are not educated in this in high school and college, so nobody ever taught me the industry until I actually got, deep into it. I was a finance manager for the largest Lexus dealer in the entire world. This dealership, whose name we will not mention, was moving 500 units a month. That's a lot of cars for one single car dealership. So having had a position where I was dealing with customers every single day, supposedly helping them acquire a car, but in reality, I was helping my bosses and the owners of my company make money at the beginning of the deal, in the middle of the deal, or at the end of the deal. That's how most businesses work. That's how car dealerships work. And unfortunately, the consumer is that individual that is put in a place where it's either take the car, don't take the car, go shop around, and you never really know if you're walking out of there with the right deal. And again, what is a right deal?
Yeah, thank you for that. It's so true that in this day and age, we have no idea what to look for as consumers. If we're not on the inside the way you were for so many years, we wouldn't know if we're, getting a great deal or getting fleeced. So when people go into a dealership, what do you suggest that they look for first in order to make sure that they get the savings that they deserve?
The reality is the savings can come if you educate yourself, whether you do this yourself or whether you utilize a broker or a buyer's agent, a firm similar to what we run. If you simply educate yourself, we have to learn to crawl before we walk. We have to learn to walk before we run. And it's the same thing with anything in life. When you're buying a car, you don't just walk into their territory. You should do your research, understand what you like, understand what your needs are. If fuel efficiency is a concern, safety is a concern, quality, reliability, longevity, retention of value, the things that matter most to you. Obviously, the internet is our friend. It can also be our enemy. If we go to a website that is giving us all this data for free, we're not getting charged for that data. We start to wonder who paid for that website to give us all that data. It could be the Automotive Dealers Association. Therefore, we may not be getting accurate data. But if you go to websites such as, and I'm allowed to tell you this, Consumer Report, JD Power and Associates, the National Highway Insurance Safety Institute, you can piece the puzzle together with information that is very valuable about safety and reliability and quality and longevity. There are better brands out there. There are good cars. There's not so good cars. There's cars that last forever and some that don't. Cars that cost you a lot of money, cars that don't. So once you've educated yourself, you're already well on your way to getting the right deal.
Awesome. So what are some of the areas that you think are most common pitfalls for consumers? Say that they walk into a dealership, they've done the research, they know the kind of car that they want to get, but then they walk in and they're talking to someone who, and they're saying, you know, you should have this and this and this and this. And what are those things that you can kind of detect as red flags going into a dealership?
Magical words going into a dealership. Eventually, we all have to walk into a dealership, whether you're going in with someone to help you buy or you're going in by yourself. Most consumers at some point have to buy a car. Whether you buy it from a private party or a dealer, you still have to do the work. If you're walking into a dealer, you're walking into their territory, and that is going to be where you're going to win or lose or be somewhere in the middle. If you're walking into their territory, please be aware of the fact that these individuals are trained in the process. In the industry, we call it the track, just like a train track, and they are to follow that track. Every question they ask you gets an answer. Every answer you give them allows them to ask you another question. And the entire process continues all through your selection, negotiations, and closing. Everything you tell them, and I hate to say this, will be used against you. So when they start asking you simple questions such as, what are you driving now? There's a reason for why they're asking that, not because they're being friendly. When they ask you, is your car paid off? What do you owe? They're piecing together their own plan of action, their own attack on how they're going to make gross, how they're going to make money off of you at the beginning of your transaction, the middle of the transaction, or the end of the transaction. So in all reality, you should walk in there mute if you're going to walk into a car dealership. They have no need to know what you're driving, what you pay, what you owe, why you're getting a car, who the car is for. Obviously, they can ask you, what are you looking for? A sedan, an SUV, a minivan, a sport car, a convertible? They can ask you if you're interested in leasing or buying. You don't have to answer the question. If you tell them you're leasing, they're going to structure that deal around you leasing. If you tell them you're buying, they're going to structure that deal around selling price. If you simply left it up in the air as, I'm still in a very preliminary stage of selecting a car, I don't even know if I like your brand, then you continue to have control over the transaction. And that is some of the most magical part of what, you know, a consumer needs to do in trying to win at this game. It is ultimately a game. When you walk into a clothing store, you buy a shirt, price on the tag is the price on the tag. In the automotive industry, it's a little different. So I recommend that a consumer going in answer as little of the questions as possible. Do not volunteer that I want to keep my payment at $299, because they will use that against you. I only have $1,000 down. I don't want to put any more down because that's all I have. Try to avoid volunteering information. When you see the car and you love the car, don't hug the car and take a selfie with it. Not necessary. Those are the things that tell the dealership we have a live one on the hook. Right.
That's really, really good advice. So in terms of buying or renting or leasing or what was it that I did when I first came to you? I thought that I was going to buy a used car. Like what are the best options for a consumer today?
You know, there's many options. It depends on your plan. How long are you planning on having the car? How much you drive? Are you concerned about reliability? You'd be surprised. There's people out there who are handy and they don't care if their alternator goes. Their mom or dad or cousin or brother, they work in the industry, they own a body shop or auto mechanics, they'll fix their own car. Those types of individuals can afford to take certain risks. People like yourself or maybe myself, if our car breaks down, we have no way to get to work. If our car breaks down, we're dealing with calling a tow truck, and we're dealing with what could be a big bill for repairs. So if warranty, peace of mind are important to you, there are brands out there. I won't mention the brand you drive, but I can tell you that there are cars out there like yours that come with 5 years and 60,000 miles of bumper-to-bumper protection, comprehensive. That's peace of mind. So not only do you get value and you get equipment and you get safety and you get reliability, but you get peace of mind. And when it's time to sell that car 3 years from now, that person buying the car is going to think, wow, that car still has factory warranty remaining, and that makes it a desirable vehicle. So there are priorities. If you want to buy pre-owned, buy pre-owned. There's some phenomenal deals on pre-owned cars, luxury cars. You could buy a $60,000, $70,000 car with just 2 years of age for 24,000, for 30,000. And it's a 2 or 3 year old car with 30,000 miles, maybe still under warranty. The first buyer took the hit. But when you're contemplating new versus pre-owned, you also have to think, hey, the interest rate on pre-owned cars, it's higher. The reliability is lower. The increased incidence or chances of issues and problems, wear and tear, more maintenance, that's present. So there are decisions to be made when you're going to go pre-owned versus new.
Right. Absolutely. What about leasing? Does leasing ever make sense?
Absolutely. 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 If a customer drives a limited amount, if a customer only drives 8,000 miles a year, 10,000 miles a year, 12,000 miles a year, and that's about it, they're driving 1,000 miles a month, you may not want to buy a car. If your business reimburses you for your car, you may not want to buy a car, just lease it. If you have a way to write off the vehicle from your taxes through your tax professional, then lease a car. If you're the type of person that has to have a new car every 2 years, every 3 years, because you're used to that, you're used to having a brand new car as often as possible, lease a car.
Mhm.
Buying a car now in today's economy with pricing the way it is and quality and repair costs, buying a car today is not always recommended. If you're going to keep the car a long time, 5 years, 6 years, buy it. Because no matter how you paid, whether you paid cash or you financed, the idea is that after 5 or 6 years, chances are the car is yours. Chances are it's paid off, and you have a car in your driveway that's worth quite a bit of money. And you may not have payments for a while. So buying a car makes sense if you're the type of individual that keeps their car for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, or you drive a lot, or you beat your car. You carry 6 dogs in your car all day and 5 kids. You may not want to lease a car. At that point, just buy it, keep it, destroy it, run it to the ground.
Yeah.
Buying makes sense at that point.
This is actually really interesting to hear now after everything you and I have gone through in my car purchasing journey, because as many of you know, I chose earlier this year to sell up my car to my friend because I realized I actually wasn't driving very much. I was spending a lot of money on insurance and on the car itself, making car payments, and I realized it wasn't worth the amount of money I was paying. But at the time that David and I started talking, I thought I was going to be driving more, and I thought I was going to own this car until I ran it into the ground. And it probably would have made a lot more sense for me to lease the car now that I think about it. And there was no way I could have known that at the time. I made the best decision I could with the information I had. But it's important to start with asking yourself a lot of discerning questions. And I had David, like David asked me all the questions. I thought I knew what I was going to do. So it's really important to take the time ahead of time, be intentional about it, and really start thinking about what is it that you really need this car for? What are your goals with this car before ever looking and researching, right? And then you go into the car dealership and you don't say anything, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't share with them what your intentions are. You don't tell them how long you plan on working at this job or keeping this car for this reason, or how long you plan on, paying for the vehicle. None of that is their business, because they'll structure around that to their benefit, not to yours. They'll make you believe they're giving away the farm. They're not. But in your case, you did what you had to do from a financial perspective, and you bought the right car at the right number with the right terms, and you drove it for its purpose. If later on your lifestyle changes, you move to New York City, what are you going to do with the car? Put it in your pocket? No, that's an issue. So in your case, you did what you needed to do, and we've done other cars for your friends, family, and acquaintances. So, we're grateful to have your business, and I think that most consumers, if they simply slowed down and don't fall in love with the first advertisement you see, if it's an advertisement and it sounds too good to be true, it may be too good to be true. So, don't just fall for a brand. I saw this ad for this BMW, it's $299 a month, I'm going to go in there. No, you're putting yourself in a lion's cage. Not a great chance of escaping. You will disappoint yourself. So just take your time, try to do it right, educate yourself. and, you know, follow advice from individuals like yourself who are trying to help the community and obviously help educate people a little bit at a time. I would love it if colleges, universities taught us a class in mortgages and credit card maintenance and credit and auto buying, but they don't.
Right. Well, that's what I have you here for, right? Um,
Absolutely.
so to everyone watching, you know, David has helped me. David mentioned that he's also helped my friends and family. That's absolutely true. He had saved me over $4,000 on my car. I don't even know how much he saved on all of my other friends and family's cars. But if you know that this is not an area of your expertise, it's worth looking into talking to David about what he can do to help you through Deal Creator. And, you know, I don't say this lightly because I know that I didn't want to study the car market in order to figure all of this out. I wanted someone who knew the market so well to help me make the savings and the right choices. So if that's something that makes sense for you, I strongly encourage you to reach out to David. I don't do this often at all, but I think that it's so important to have the right people in your corner and the right team, whether it's going to be realtors, car buyers, and everything in between. You want to know that you're getting the best price. You want to have an expert in the field, and David is definitely that. So thank you, David, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not just about the best price, Lisa. You know that having a good electrician and a good plumber is important. You know that having a great accountant, a great attorney, a good physician is important. I'm not going to make this a plug, but if you need a qualified individual to help you with whatever field it may be, money management, for example, they need to reach out to the right party, people like yourself or individuals who are in that field. And most people don't. They try to do things on their own and they end up paying more than they should, or disappointed or hurt with not knowing whether they got a raw deal, got taken advantage of. They always feel ripped off when they leave. And then I get the phone call.
Yeah.
I did this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks too late. But yeah, I'm glad that you're doing this for your viewers. I'm very, very, very happy. I watch your shows, and I like your casts. I like when you do your videos because it's educational. I learn.
Thank you so much. And let's create everyone's financial freedom and beyond, right? Thank you,
Absolutely.
David, again.
Absolutely.